And I work very closely with the educational institutions as well. And one thing which always comes, that industry says that we never get the right talent, and that academia always says that we never get the right feedback from the industry, right? I know that we are all academicians today, but of course we will be soon gathering again, where we'll be having some industry experts as well, so that we can actually create that platform where both industry and academia can sit together and identify that what they are looking for, and how that can be prepared. So industry academia gap is of course one we would like to deliberate upon. The second is maybe we'll talk about some of the recent trends. If focus on the finance and accounting, that's great, but however, we are open for any other stream as well, focusing on the technology and the sustainability. I think technology is something which everybody is talking about, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and various other technology, IoT, etc. Apple has already come up with their Apple Vision Pro, right? But sustainability is another aspect which the people are missing out. India is now converging towards ESG reporting in the next few years. That's what the plan government has. So that's another requirement which is for the future. And the most important part, what support do you think that the professional bodies like ACCA, which work within academia across the globe, which work with industries across the globe, can actually put together on the table, and we both can actually work in order to probably help preparing that talent for the future. With this deliberation, I'll probably introduce Professor Dr. Dhrubajyoti Chattopadhyay, Vice Chancellor of Sister Nivedita University. And I would like to open the discussion for everybody, starting from here, just a brief introduction so that everybody in the audience can know each other. And talk about that, what are your expectations, and is there any recommendation or any other talking point which you want to? So sir, so here's the mic, and probably then you can pass it on to the next one. That's how we can actually start with. I hope that's okay.
Very good evening to everybody. I really feeling very happy to see all my friends over here, and definitely welcome you, the organizers, ACCA. You introduced ACCA, and it's new to me because after receiving the email from you, I have gone through the website and I got some sort of idea. But what I have, I got it from after listening to both yourself as well as Chandan. There is something new, I could get it. So I shall, I'm presently the Vice Chancellor of Sister Nivedita University, and is in the academics for the last 40 years. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Biswajit Ghosh. I'm the Vice Chancellor of the Neotia University, but my basic education from IIT Kharagpur, then my research education is in Jadavpur University. I was in Jadavpur University since 1978 to 2017, and I am fortunate to work all over the world. I was in Imperial College, Cambridge, then University of California, Los Angeles, University of Texas, Austin, all over the world, and I work as a United Nations as a advisor to the energy and climate change. I have seen the misery and sufferings of the African countries, and I have seen what are the heritage in Western countries, but the students are same everywhere. So today what they have mentioned is a very important aspects for us. What will be the student for the future? What will be the teacher for the future? We have to discuss, because the students, according to Sri Aurobindo, he mentioned the students will serve their motherland. We have to develop the good nations, otherwise country will not enhance a lot. So this is your responsibility. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening everyone. Myself, Dr. Sitangshu Khatua. I'm Dean of Xavier Business School, St. Xavier's University, Kolkata. And thank you very much, this ArdorComm and the ACCA for hosting this particular, first of all, inviting me and hosting this particular evening with a very relevant topic. And being the Dean of a management, for the management graduates, I personally feel that only classroom teaching, only theoretical, traditional, conventional education won't help. Especially after this, as Chandan mentioned, this VUCA world, this vulnerable and uncertain and complexity and ambiguity. So within this, all of us, we don't know what will happen, what we'll do maybe after 1 year. And especially after COVID-19, though everybody is now in a dilemma, and NEP is saying that 30% course should be in online. So now with all these things, now how our education, so-called our traditional, conventional education system, how it will run in coming days, that actually really a question mark for all of us, especially who are like we people who are involved in this particular field. I think everybody in this hall is in this particular field. And there, I think there is a major changes is coming, and we should accept these changes. Otherwise, possibly, then we will have to take the back seat if we are not accepting the right. And I think this particular topic is very much required, and I'm expecting many positive outcome of today's evening. Thank you very much.
Good evening all. Myself, this is Dr. Rakesh Kumar Dhar Dubey, and I am Dean of Management Studies as well as with extended responsibility of Juridical Science in JIS University. I just am very thankful to be invited here from this ArdorComm, this media house and the startup organization. Thanks to you, both of you, and all other members from the company. This is very relevant topic that we are having today. And as the previous speakers told, I am just on the same line, that world is very much fast moving, very, in a situations of turbulence. Very fastly it is moving. Every day there is new change. And now we can see that how world is moving with digitalization. And just after COVID, the things have changed drastically. When it was a period of pandemic, we have seen that most of the, learners across the world, not only talking about India, across the world, have shifted in this area of, digital learning platforms. And after new normal again, the students came back to physical classrooms, but still there is a great opportunity with this, online learning. Now in many of the universities you will see, like ArdorComm is now trying to come up with. I think there are many other institutions in the same way they are trying to provide education online and on the digital mode. Thanks to such companies actually, because there are many learners in this country as well as in a global periphery that we can see that how they are actually getting benefited out of this, virtual learning means, and they are getting benefited. Now one point for sure is very important, that is the skills that is very much required in the present day of corporations, because the kind of skills which organizations are looking for, the corporations which is looking for, whether they are really given with the institution, universities, and that is a point of discussion, I hope, because total alignment between academia and industry has to be very much in line, so that the employability, which is a major issues, though we have tremendously moved ahead with a kind of employability ratio during the period of pandemic, but after pandemic again the situations that is again aggravated, because industry is actually requiring something else, but whether learners are really having the same kind of skills which they require. Not only the digital part, not only the skill sets which is related to AI or bots. Actually, bots are very much replacing also manpower today. That is the biggest, phase of transition that we can see ahead. Now, I was just moving from my home place to this place yesterday night. So I got one of my friends, he was traveling with me. I had a discussion that what is the status of your company? He was just in a perplexion and told that, sir, the company is pressurizing us like anything to install more and more bots to replace the 5% on an average annual basis of manpower. So this is a, kind of condition. Even what would be the condition in future? That is again a big, situation. Even we learn bots, we learn chat bots, we learn all machine learning, whether they are really going to serve the future needs and requirements of the companies, industry. That is a big issue that we have to. So I think we'll come back to this, get an opportunity again to discuss many more things. Apart from digital, I would like to emphasize that as somebody in previous speaker talked about, like the behavioral aspect now in the very present day condition, the learners, how they are with their attitudes and behavior. So that is also a point of, agenda I think must be discussed on. Because, let me pass this. Again, we will get an opportunity to discuss some more points, valid points. Thank you very much. Thanks.
A very good evening to all of you. Thank you, Ardor, and thank you, ACCA. Today is a proud moment for me. The reason behind that, the person who's sitting opposite to me happens to be my teacher, who has taught me when I was pursuing my BCom. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Myself, Dr. Gagan Pareek. I am the Associate Dean of Techno India University. Other than that, I am the head of the School of Management. The most challenging is not about developing skills among students. The biggest challenge is to gather skills among yourself and deliver to the students, if I'm not wrong. I'm a man of finance. What I learned during my BCom, MCom, or during my MBA, or when I passed my ICW examinations, there were certain topics like portfolio management system, derivatives, they were not at par. But when I'm teaching, or when I'm heading the B school, I need to equip myself with all the skills which is required. And the other side, who are basically much more senior to me, it's much more challenging for them also. How good our mindset is to acquire those skills and delivering to the students. At the end of the day, students are much more challenging because the entire world revolves only around the mobile phone which is in their hands. And when I'm saying about setting skills, what type of skills are we looking for? And skills will basically vary from person to person. Suppose when I'm teaching about in finance, and when I'm dealing with the students, so I need to understand finance, the different perspective of finance. So which student will fit in with what type of skill which is required for him, and just identifying those skills and mapping those with the skill with the student is one of the most difficult tasks as an academician. With the passage of time, I will learn lots of things in this particular, but the best part is that the auspicious gathering with such a huge academicians, right from a young person like me, and with some of the senior personalities, like Dhrubajyoti is there, Shaswati ma'am is there, it will be one of the best learning experience from my side. Thank you, Ardor, for giving me this opportunity. Sir, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Professor Bhakti Bhusan Barik, Dean, School of Medical and Allied Health Science, Brainware University. My education from Jadavpur University, B.Pharm, M.Pharm, PhD, and then I was working in a couple of universities outside Bengal and abroad also, and then I have joined in this Brainware University from 2021. Regarding this professional course which I am holding in this school, our school, it covers this all allied health science departments, then nursing, pharmacy, and all these things. So these subjects or these courses are very much the skill based. Now the skill become a challenge. Both the skills we are trying, the soft skills and hard skills. Soft skills, we do conduct these different soft skill classes by our C2C departments like attitude, communication skill, English, learning, leadership, and all these things are there. But unfortunately, it is found that the students are less interested to attend these classes. So aptitude class, soft skill classes, though we have arranged, but still the attendance is very, very poor. Regarding hard skills or technical skills, we do best. We try to make the different way, because the training aspects and hands-on training, project work, and different other aspects where this the technical skills can be developed. We prepare also certain interview-related questions and all this for their placements, and all these things are there. But the challenge is there for these technical skills. The less facilities available, particularly for industry like pharma, this pharma industry, or from this allied health science, is from these hospitals and other places. Now, there, so this university growing fast and large number of students, which need this lot of facilities for their training and practice. And unless and until the students from this allied health science or pharmacy, they practice and exposed to this critical case they handle, they are not so skilled. So skilling becomes a challenge, it becomes a problem. So that we have to think that not only this the book-based educations, but this expertise, particularly on this technical aspects or professional aspects, it's very much required. Otherwise, placements will be an issue. But unfortunately, we have seen that also in the student side, even also it is arranged, the students are less attentive in this professional skills or professional settings are there. So these are the things we have to issue, because this one professional person or technical persons graduate from pharmacy or postgraduate, or professional persons from this health science department, they are very valuable. So you have to see how they can be improved and how they can be utilized. Okay. So I hope on this line there will be much more discussions on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. A very good evening to the August gathering. First and foremost, I want to really thank Ardor and ACCA for giving me this absolutely brilliant opportunity. Again, I'll actually borrow a few words from you, sir, that I do not know whether I'm capable or, or in the right position to sit amidst my mentors and teachers here today. But myself, Dr. Promiti Roy, and I am the Director of Humanities and Social Sciences in Swami Vivekananda University. I had worked with the Times of India for 5 years, and then of course I had gone and taught, rather delved in myself into academics. I started off my teaching journey from Jogesh Chandra Chaudhary College, and then of course Amity University, and then right now I'm with Swami Vivekananda University. So I just want to, a few things that I just want to mention, because while I was actually listening to all of the esteemed speakers, I just found a commonality between education and leadership. You know, because these are two most important words which I see featuring there in that board, education and leadership. So I think I would actually talk about one particular theory which actually gave me a common term in both these terminologies. I think something that is very, very relevant is the Aristotle's theory of communication, because I am from communication, the field of communication. So be it in education or be it in the form of leadership, what did Aristotle say, which was just 400 years back, but it still is so relevant today? That is, ethos, which is credibility, pathos, which is relatability, and logos, which is logic, right? So this is something which I think is the most important basis till date, especially when we talk about education and leadership qualities and leadership in education, right? So this is something which we hopefully will find out whether our education system is credible, whether it is relatable, now especially with NEP and all the major policies which are coming in, and of course whether it is logical. So hence, because the particular topic that has been given to us essentially revolves around these factors, which I feel personally. So of course, let's see what is in store for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank Kumar, Chandan ji, Prabhanshu ji, Manjan ji, Ardor entire team for organizing a wonderful this roundtable discussion today in the heart of the city. The reason behind is that, as Prabhanshu has very rightly instigated today's discussion, that the sustainability should be the bold move for the bold new era we are entering into. And everyone, when they are joining their institution as a new incumbent, they need to demonstrate the very strong leadership and creating a very vibrant institution for the rest of the people who are coming across that institution or organization. And for that purpose, they need to learn how to manage with the change. And this change, quote unquote, parivartan, how to deal with this change, that is the very, very precious issue. And here I think we should inculcate the value of problem-solving mindset in the students from the very beginning, from the very outset. As I am observing by discharging my responsibility as the director in the Center of Excellence in Financial Market at the University of Calcutta, I found that students are coming up with hosts of knowledge. They are capable enough with dealing with any problem or issues related with the finance. But when they are joining the organization, they are coming back. They are not able to handle with the new technologies. Why I am talking about, particularly in the new bold era, the automation and AI, that is the artificial intelligence, cannot be set aside from the entire system. So herein what happened, industry and academicians should come closer and they can perform their complementary role for each other. I think Ardor Communication Media Group is doing a really very, very appreciable work, and as they have instigated to bridge this gap, I congratulate you, sir, and I hope if such type of instigation is being made by the industry, definitely there will be the game changer and it will entirely transform the environment and the sustainability. As the Prabhanshu has raised today's issue, definitely we will be in a position to present the beautiful globe to our generation to come. With this, thank you all.
A very good evening to all distinguished dignitaries present here, my seniors and my colleagues. I am Professor Dr. Indrani Bhattacharya, presently working as a director of Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Incubation Center of CCOM Skills University in Bolpur, Shantiniketan. My widespread experience working in industry in public sector enterprise for 20 years and then in academia for more than 15 years. And it is my passion to work to develop the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the higher education institution. I would like to thank ArdorComm Media Group as well as ACCA for this wonderful gathering and for this wonderful opportunity given to me so that I'll be able to learn and listen to all the thinkings and all the different visions of the dignitaries present here. What I feel is that the development of skills, technical skills, leadership skills, soft skills, everything is very much essential. And our, what you have told, that our education is having a paradigm shift. Previously, what we have seen, that just merely memorizing the questions and giving the answers is not sufficient for us. I have worked in University of Eastern Finland as a postdoctoral fellow. And that, all of you know that the Scandinavian countries are very good in education system. Poland and Finland, they are very ahead in education system. There I have seen each and every professors and students, they are very much busy in doing research as well as building their own startup and innovations. And this comes automatically with their education system. So what I feel is that, as we already have had our Startup India, there is a flagship initiative given by Government of India, our Honorable Prime Minister. So we should inculcate this kind of atmosphere in our education institute, so that the sustenance and the development of our youth generations, the young generations, and inclusion of women, the community, especially from rural as well as urban. I'm working in a rural environment, their agriculture and the handicrafts is very much predominant in that particular sector. So I think that entrepreneurship and incubation and this kind of development is very much necessary for the developed India, the Atma-Nirbhar India. Okay, thank you so much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, thanks to ArdorComm and ACCA for inviting me to talk with such excellent people. I am not actually an academician, I am a businessman. I run factory manufacturing pumps and centrifuge systems for oil well drilling industry. Fortunately, I am associated with an NGO which runs some certain education institutes. So our NGO runs 5 schools and 3 colleges, 1 degree college, 1 B.Ed college and a dental college. And I am associated with 2 colleges and a school. So today's topic is most relevant for me because I am feeling the punch from the side of an academician and from the side of a businessman, that we require skill. Academician thinks that the knowledge, gaining of knowledge is sufficient for everything, but that is not the case. Unless and until there is a skill, he cannot work in a practical field. And in industry, every day we feel a pinch that whenever we are calling people for our recruitment, we see that the level of skill or understanding or their logical thinking is very, very poor. So we have to train them. And training, the growing world is so fast. So training nowadays is very difficult aspect for any industry. So my view is we have to work in coordination with the academic and the industry. Unless and otherwise, the thing cannot change. Next point, our education system in India. Because I am running a school, primary school, K-12 school. So what we had seen, the earlier 4 schools which we are running, that is a conventional system of a Macaulay theory. So what we are doing, we are confining all the students to a certain classroom and we are putting them pressure to learn, learn and learn, not to think logically. So our habit is growing like that, that we stop thinking logically. What we are doing, we are following a certain guided path. So that will not solve our purpose. We have to think differently. As internationally you see, the students are doing hand in hand. The academic is there, then a logical conclusion. For logical conclusion, they are given the projects, to do projects, and from those projects they are learning. They are evolving their skills. So that is the way we should think. Otherwise, it is very difficult for us. The new school which we had built recently, very near to here in Newtown, SPK Jain Futuristic Academy, I am secretary of that. On basis of that thinking only, we had built up that school. First time in Eastern India, we had given an open classroom concept. So people, the children need not to sit in a particular chair. He can roam around. He can learn whatever he wants. Otherwise, the development of brain or the development of logic cannot come. It has to be practiced from very beginning. I hope this session will give us some fruitful result and we can move forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon to this August gathering, and my sincere thanks to ArdorComm Media Group and ACCA. Today I have joined here not as a speaker but as a guest. I'm here to enrich myself as a principal of a government-aided college, and I see many of my friends have joined also. We as principal are facing many problems in delivering the new curriculum that has been incorporated recently. And I do believe that there is a divide between the industry and the academy. My college had always tried to bridge a linkage between the industry and academy. So we used to call that project as campus to corporate project. It was going very well. The students were being trained, they were joining the industry, but somehow, sandwiched between the delivery of the curriculum within a very short space of time, we lost hope and it did not continue. Now I understand that there is a requirement of shifting the students from classroom beyond classroom. And this shifting is being done through the media dependency, through the digital dependency and the technological dependency, where we lack. We lack the skill, and I'm not ashamed to say that even I as a principal lack the skill to help my students to move from the classroom to beyond classroom in the holistic way. I have joined here as a guest to hear from you, to get informations from you, to be enriched by you, that how I will help my students to build a career that they wish to aspire for. I am not sure that what type of career is open for them. Coming from a absolutely simple degree college, where we cater to both type of students, coming from the rural background and from the urban background, the students are not sure that what type of industry they are going to face and how I am going to link the industry with them. So sir, madam, I request all of you to enrich me through this program so that I can take this information back to my students. Thank you so much.
Good evening. Good wishes and gratitude from the core of my heart to all the dignitaries present here. I'd like to thank ACCA and ArdorComm Media Group for inviting me here. Today's our discussion topic is skill enhancement. Actually, the thing is that we all are trying to develop a global competency among our students. And I should mention few information, share few informations with you that regarding research publication, you will find India in almost second position. Few years back it was, I think, 7th or something among all the countries. Regarding technology, we are not within first 10. There is a gap. We are discussing here about the gap between industry and academia. Yes, it's true. This concept of skill-based education was first introduced in India, as far as I know, That was Rabindranath Tagore in Shantiniketan in 1921, starting his Vishwabharati University. Most of the courses were skill-based. And in last 100 years, we, the colleges and universities of India, did not try to adapt it. Now we are facing global challenges, we are trying to do it. Industries are often saying that they need students job ready. Yes, it is very good. But the thing is that job ready students, that is job ready human resource, is not a Zomato-like food delivery system that academicians or institutes can provide. Most of the industries have R&D sections, but they should, we must criticize, they should look on the development, not for tax savings. So, such interface meeting with industry is really required, especially for we, the people are in academic administration. And the thing, we must have to face that how this gap can be minimized. I am not telling the name of a big company who started more with institution, also with my institution. They trained my teachers few years. Teachers came back, they trained students what they need. Actually, we the Edit College have the syllabus governed by the university. We teach that. Apart from that, for skill enhancement, what we can do? We can offer students, we can counseling, students may be counseled, and offer students different kind of add-on courses, certificate courses for their skill enhancement. But industry have to say what they need. So we, the colleges or universities, can prepare the students in that way. You are asking for job-ready students. You are not placing your particularly what you are wanting. And the thing is that similar item manufacturing company have different structures, different work culture. So, I am preparing a students, suppose this is a glass manufacturing company. There are 5 to 10 glass manufacturing companies are there. I am preparing few students how to make this glass. But work culture, systems, everything are different over there. Output depends upon the in-house work culture, skill, teamwork, dedication, devotion, etc. and so on. So, industry ready, 100% industry ready students cannot be prepared. Rather than an unfinished product, when an organization train them in properly in their own environment, as per their requirement, that will be better. So, I like to thank ArdorComm Media Group and ACCR for inviting me to give me a scope to learn. Thank you so much.
Me, Shashwati Shannal, Principal of Rammohan College, a leading girls' college, heart of the city. A very good afternoon, or sorry, a very good evening to all dignitaries here, present here. And I'm really thankful to ArdorComm Media Group to invite me and also give me a chance to share my thoughts with all of distinguished guests here. First of all, now we are all under national education policy. The first thing is that the motto of the policy is a very single word, earning for learning, which is a very new concept to us. That is the first thing. And second thing is a very crude word, we can say, we have to provide students for workforce. Then the problem lies here that, do you think academia and industry are two mutually exclusive events? Or academia has some contribution in research work of industries? I think we have to think over that. If I am given some time, then I can share my thoughts, critical thinking or thoughts about this topic. That is a separate issue. And the second thing, of course, we have to start different professional courses in my college. We have signed MOU with George Telegraph, RISE, Vocational Academy, and all those standard organizations to help our students. Because our student has to fight with the changing global scenario. We have to make them global citizens. They have to face different adverse situations, and they have to cope the changed situations. I have been teaching for 36 years in a leading girls' college. Today I'm observing the changing scenario of my students' attitude. What they were 36 years ago and what they are thinking about. A major change. They are very much interested to join somewhere. They are very much interested to be economically independent. So we have developed courses for communicative English. We have signed MOU with We for All for communicative English. We have set up lab for communicative English. We are trying our best. But being a government-aided college, obviously, due to shortage of fund, we cannot fulfill our dream. So today I'm very much interested to know how industry can help our students. Suppose a student of liberal art. How can my students can be accommodated in industry for internship with a stipend? In today's world, without stipend or without money, no student is interested in having an internship. Engineering students may have internship, they have been paid also, but what about a student of history honors, or English honors, or philosophy honors? I am not sure whether industry can accommodate my students of general degree course for internship with a stipend. I'm not sure. But I have some suggestions, basic ideas. I think all academic fields, STEM, arts and commerce, should look into the industrial employment situation while designing the course. First, for example, which branches of engineering are offering more opportunities or which branches are offering more stability. I'm not a student or faculty of engineering college. Our distinguished dignitaries may help me. Interdisciplinary approach may be a very good solution. Most problem solving or solution problematizing in industry. Higher academia require a multi-field approach. We need collaboration between economics, STEM, similarly with political science, law, etc. And today's burning issue, and my different guests, they have also discussed artificial intelligence. Whether it will create joblessness in future, I think that is a mixed question of science, technology, economics and public policy too. An interdisciplinary approach, I think, will increase job opportunities if the right questions are highlighted and engaged with. That is one of my suggestions. That is my review. So thank you all.
Good evening to all distinguished guests present over here. Thanks to ArdorComm Media Group, ACCA, for inviting me in such a good discussion on a very good topic. Myself, Dr. Devopriyo De, principal of a government-aided college, Panihati Mahavidyalaya. I have both experience. For a long time, I have worked in an engineering institute, in an autonomous engineering institute, and then I have come in a government-aided college. Now, regarding the today's topic, that is the importance of professional qualification in developing skill. Yes, this is very true, that professional qualification will develop the skill. But if you see the statistics of NASSCOM, then 25% of our engineering graduates are employable. But if you see the AISHE data, then in AISHE data you will see that around 79% of students, they are admitted in the undergraduate course. And among that 79% of students, 33.5% students are admitted in arts. Science only 15.5%, commerce 14%, and engineering and technology 11.9%. So out of this total number of students, only 25% students are employable. So my point is, there is a scope in professional qualification, particularly engineering, technology, law, medical. These are the different professional qualifications. There is a scope for professional skill development. But still, that was not developed because there is a huge gap between industry and the academic. And one particular problem which we are facing, that students in my previous institute and in the institute which we are now I am working, that students, their attitude difference. The students, those who are admitted into the professional courses, at the very beginning, their objective that after completion of 4 years, they need a job. Whether they have the skill or not, they need a job. But in the general undergraduate college, there is no objective. This is the main problem. So accordingly, it is easier for the students, those who are admitted in the professional courses, to give that type of training, that type of skill development. And in skill development, I can categorize the skill into 2 types. That is the general skill, that is the communication skill, content writing skill, and the special type of skill, that is the domain specific skill. Now, and in general courses, only the general skill we can give them. And accordingly, in our institute, we have started different type of add-on or certificate courses to develop those skills. But the thing is that we know that NEP, it has already started. The outcome-based evaluation process, outcome-based education system was started. And in outcome-based education system, we have to think the 6 cognitive processes in Bloom's taxonomy, that is the remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. All we know. But when we design the course or when we design the syllabus of a particular subject, we have to keep in mind that all those particular points should be addressed in a course. If I can give time, I can say I have designed one course, I will tell. Or if we consider the syllabus of a particular subject, I am actually the subject of a material science. I have done my PhD from IIT Kharagpur, and for a long time I have association with industry. Some of my products, it is in the industry, in a polymer. Now, what I want to say, that if we design a syllabus by keeping all these things, then ultimately the skill will be developed. I am just giving you the example of a particular course where, suppose in a computer course I am telling that first level, that is the remembering level. I will design a course, and in that course, first I will give the course that is the introduction to programming concept. Now what is the objective for this particular course? In this particular course, the students will identify the fundamental programming concept, variables, data types, and control structure. Then the second level, that is the understanding level. In that particular level, I will giving the networking and fundamentals. And the objective is to explain the basic concept of computer network, including protocols, IP addressing, network topologies, etc. In the third level, that is in the applying level. In that level, I will give the course that is the web development with HTML and CSS. What is the objective of that course? That course is develop a responsive website using HTML and CSS, applying appropriate design principle and technique. So this is the third level. In the fourth level, that is the analyzing level. In this level, the course will be data analysis and with Python. What will be the objective of that course? The course is analyze large data set using Python programming and data manipulation, interpret the results to identify the trends and pattern. Then in the fifth level, that is the evaluating level. In that level, the course is cyber security risk assessment. That means the potential risk that the risk of vulnerabilities in an information system, and recommend the appropriate security control to mitigate those risks. And the final level, that is the creating level. That means the mobile app development. So throughout the course, ultimately the skill will be developed. And in the final level, the objective is to design and develop a mobile application from scratch, incorporating the user interface design principle, interactive features, background functionality, whatever may be. So if we properly, that means what I want to say, that means when we design the course, if we properly implement all the Bloom's taxonomy level, and all these things, it is incorporated in their syllabus, so skill will be developed. And the other part, that is the interaction between the industry and the academia, that will be done by the people like ArdorComm or ACCA. They will do that bridge. So with this thing, I again thanks to this ArdorComm Media Group and ACCA for inviting me in such a nice discussion topic. Thank you.
I am Dr. Sandip Pal, Principal, City College of Commerce and Business Administration. I started my career as an assistant cost accountant in Hooghly Dock and Port Engineers way back in 1984. Thereafter, I shifted to the education sector. Initially, I started teaching at St. Xavier's College, Calcutta in the morning, and in the evening, City College of Commerce and Business Administration, and that function I am performing for the last nearly 38 years or so. Now, I'll concentrate my discussion on commerce studies only. And in commerce, in those days when we were students, the entire education scenario was divided into two parts. One is the professional course and other is the general course. What we are now performing in our day-to-day activities in colleges is we are preparing the students in the general course and preparing them for the professional course. Professional course is something else that is not our cup of tea. We prepare our students for the professional courses. Not all students can go there. Professional course has got some sort of some vanity, some speciality, some specialized jobs, job orientation, which we cannot provide. So that is not our function. We will prepare our students in all respects, theoretically and otherwise, mentally. So many people were talking about the mindset of the students. Of course, these are changing nowadays. Now, professional course in commerce is like chartered accountancy, cost accountancy, company secretaryship, or ACCA, what you are doing right now. These are the professional courses. They have their specialties too. Now, professional course is conducted by a professional body. There is enrollment with the professional institution. So those things are there. Code of ethics has to be followed by the members while practicing the course. That is something else. Now, the topic of the day is the importance of professional qualification in developing skills for the workplace. So the necessity of professional qualification is embodied in the topic itself, that the professional qualification is required for developing skill for the workforce. We have been discussing about courses and studies so long. Now, let us go to the field of cricket. What happened there earlier? People were coming automatically, right? Ajit Wadekar. He never played for the college team, but in one match there was shortage of some persons, and the college coach found that Ajit Wadekar is carrying 2 buckets of water and walking straight all the way beside the ground. He called him and told him, "Can you play cricket?" Well, "Yes, I can play little bit of cricket." "Okay, you come and join." And this gentleman subsequently captained India for in so many test matches in those days, right? Dhirubhai Ambani was never a professionally qualified person, but today his company is feeding thousands or millions of professionals, right? So today things are changing. Sachin Tendulkar and all others are coming from cricket academies. So also in the field of management, as in the field of business, people are coming from professional institutions. So there lies the importance of professional courses. These courses need to be designed properly and to meet the challenges of modern education. In the next part of our discussion, we'll discuss in detail. For the initial part, I think this is sufficient. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And sorry, at the outset, I should have thanked the organizers for organizing this beautiful seminar on the earth of Kolkata. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Shubhra.
Namaste.
Your introduction, ma'am, institute which you represent, and a very short opening remarks on the topic of
हम समझ गए हैं. ओके. वो असल में हम शिक्षकों की आदत होती है थोड़ी सी कि एक बार अगर बोलना शुरू किए तो 45 मिनट से पहले रुकते नहीं हैं. तो एग्जैक्टली तो ये कहीं कहीं होता है. खैर, नमस्ते. आप सबको मेरा हार्दिक आभार, अभिनंदन. कुमार चंदन जी, प्रभांशु जी. मैं डॉक्टर शुभ्रा उपाध्याय, MA PhD मैंने कलकत्ता यूनिवर्सिटी से की है और लगभग 20 वर्षों का मेरा अध्यापन का अनुभव रहा है खुदीराम बोस सेंट्रल कॉलेज में, और अभी मैं वहाँ पर एक्टिंग प्रिंसिपल के रूप में काम कर रही हूँ। ये एक बड़ी अच्छी बात जब मैंने यहाँ पे सुनना शुरू किया तो प्रभांशु जी ने एक बड़ी अच्छी बात कही कि हम टैलेंट चाहते हैं, डिग्री नहीं। यानी कि रिक्वायर्ड नॉलेज और एक्वायर्ड नॉलेज में बहुत बड़ा गैप है। हम जो एक्वायर्ड करते हैं उसको हम जहाँ हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट है वहाँ हम लगा नहीं पाते, और इसी कारण ये सारी बहस इसीलिए है। तो इसके बहुत सारे सूत्र हैं और हमने बड़ी मेहनत की है इसके लिए। अगर समय मिला तो ज़रूर हम बात करेंगे, लेकिन कुछ चीज़ों पर आपका ध्यान ज़रूर आकृष्ट करना चाहूँगी। NEP की बात हुई है, न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी की, उसमें भी बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें आई हैं जो शायद इस गैप को फुलफ़िल करेंगी, क्योंकि हम उसमें देख रहे हैं हमारे पास इंटर्नशिप करने की चीज़ें हैं, हम लोग कोलैबोरेट कर रहे हैं, और नैक भी हमें जिस दिशा में ले जा रहा है, अभी हम सभी लोग नैक फेस कर रहे हैं, और नैक में भी हमारा कोई भी काम बिना कोलैबोरेशन के नहीं हो रहा है। हम कोलैबोरेट कर रहे हैं, और विशेष करके इंडस्ट्री के साथ। और अगर इस तरह का कोलैबोरेशन इंडस्ट्री के साथ एजुकेशन जो इंस्टीट्यूशन है उनका हो तो शायद ये रिक्वायर्ड और एक्वायर्ड की चीज़ें जो गैप है ये मिटेंगी। और मेरा ये अनुरोध है जो प्रोफेशनलिस्ट हैं या इंडस्ट्री के लोग हैं कि उनके यहाँ भी इस तरह की एक एकेडमिक रिसर्च सेल होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि जो बच्चे निकलते हैं वो थियोरिटिकल रहते हैं, पूरी थ्योरी पढ़ते हैं, उनको इन एक्शन वो सारी चीज़ें करने का मौका नहीं मिलता। और वही चीज़ें हम लोग अब धीरे धीरे कोलैबोरेशन के माध्यम से, इंटर्नशिप करवाने के माध्यम से कर रहे हैं। और थोड़ी सी भूमिका हमारे माँ बाप की भी होती है, माता पिता की भी होती है, कि हम बच्चों को प्रेशराइज करते हैं एक जनरल एजुकेशन की तरफ कि सबको ग्रेजुएट होना ही है, सबको MA करना ही है। तो उनको भी थोड़ी सी फ्रीडम मिलनी चाहिए अपने सब्जेक्ट को या अपने जहाँ पर उनका टैलेंट है उसको चुनने के लिए। क्योंकि ये मानी हुई बात है कि हम मछली को कह दें कि आप पेड़ पर चढ़कर दिखाओ तो आपकी योग्यता देखें, इम्पॉसिबल। और हम गिलहरी को कह दें कि आप तैर कर दिखाओ तो हम आपकी योग्यता देखें, नहीं हो सकता। तो ये जो चॉइस करने की बात है ये बच्चों को भी मिलनी चाहिए, और हम लोगों को आपस में कोलैबोरेट करना चाहिए, हम लोगों को टाइम पर विज़िट करना चाहिए, रिसर्च सेंटर खोलने चाहिए, और आपस में बातचीत का जरिया ओपन रखना चाहिए। तो बाकी बातें होंगी। थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Professor Kingshuk Chaudhary from Shonapur Mahavidyalaya. I have a commerce background. Apart from that, I am also a member of Cost Institution. I am an associate member of the Institute of Cost and Works Accountants of India. So presently, I am representing Shonapur Mahavidyalaya, and I am from a aided degree college. So we have lots of problems, so for the solution of which I want to know from you. So that's why I came over here. And regarding the first part of our discussion, that is the gap between the academia and the industry. There were a lot of gaps previously, but from last few years, or specifically from this year, we were introduced a CCF system by the NEP. So in that system, there are a lot of attempts were made to bridge this gap. So for example, internship were introduced, some other add-on courses, etc. were introduced. So for a degree college like us, like Madam had already mentioned, so I don't know how it is possible to arrange the internship for the whole students. We have almost 3,000 students. So how we accommodate internship for all of them, it's a question to me. So if the industry comes across and help us, so that will be a great help for us. Otherwise, we all know the solutions. Industry and academia will have to work together, etc., etc. But how? That is the question. If anyone can answer me that, so I'll be grateful to him. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Srinivas.
Good evening to all the distinguished guests, friends. My name is Srinivas Singh Yadav, and I am currently Vice Principal of Syama Prasad College. My background is also Hindi. I have graduated in Hindi, PhD in Hindi. So as Shubhrati spoke in Hindi also, and we will be very comfortable in Hindi. So if you allow, I will say few words in Hindi. I can speak, but our day-to-day expression is in Hindi, communication in Hindi. So actually जो यहाँ पर मंजन जी और ऑर्गेनाइजर जो है ArdorComm मीडिया ग्रुप, मैं उनको बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि उन्होंने मुझे संपर्क किया और एक विषय पर आमंत्रित किया। मैं बहुत ज़्यादा प्रस्तुत नहीं था, मुझे ये जानना था कि यहाँ पर किस तरह का डिस्कशन होगा और मैं जो है अभी एज ए वाइस प्रिंसिपल कॉलेज में उसे कैसे लागू कर सकता हूँ और अच्छा वातावरण कैसे क्रिएट कर सकता हूँ। एक चीज़ हमने देखा है कि हमारे कॉलेज में भी बहुत सारे लोग प्लेसमेंट के लिए आते हैं, लेकिन लोगों की ये शिकायत रहती है कि जो स्टूडेंट हैं उनके अंदर जो है जो एक प्रोफेशनल बिहेवियर होना चाहिए, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल होनी चाहिए, जैसे उनकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज हो, अपने खुद को प्रेजेंट करना हो, वो उनमें उनकी कमी होती है। दे हैव नॉलेज बट दे लैक प्रोफेशनल एटीट्यूड। तो हमारे जो छात्र हैं उनमें इनका डेवलपमेंट होना चाहिए और जो इंडस्ट्री है या इंडस्ट्री के जो लोग हैं, हमें लगता है कि जैसे शुभ्रति ने भी कहा कि हम लोगों को कोलैबोरेट करना चाहिए आप लोगों से और समय समय पर हम लोगों को कैसे जो प्रोफेशनल जो एटीट्यूड है स्टूडेंट्स में उसके वर्कशॉप कराने चाहिए। यहाँ से मैं चाहूँगा कि जो ये ऑर्गेनाइजर संस्था है वो हमारे कॉलेज में जाए और हम बच्चों को ऑर्गेनाइज करें, इकट्ठा करें और आप उन्हें प्रोफेशनल जो एटीट्यूड है, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल है, उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताएं। क्योंकि आजकल मैं देख रहा हूँ भाषा जो है वो बहुत छूटती जा रही है, जो चाहे वो हिंदी हो, चाहे बांग्ला हो, चाहे इंग्लिश हो, किसी एक भाषा पर बहुत अच्छी तरह से किसी भी विद्यार्थी की दक्षता नहीं है। जो मिक्स लैंग्वेज है उसके कारण भी वो लोग बहुत ये पीछे रह जाते हैं और लोगों के साथ कैसे बातचीत हम लोग कॉलेज जो देखते हैं कि कैसे उनका व्यवहार होता है, वो ट्रेडिशनल जिस तरह से बातचीत है, जिस तरह से चलना फिरना है, आजकल का जो समाज है, जो ग्लोबलाइजेशन है, जो प्राइवेटाइजेशन है, जो पूरे विश्व की मांग है, उसके अनुसार हमारी जो जनरेशन है, नई जनरेशन है, उसके अनुसार उसको तैयार करना है। मुझे लगता है कि ये समय की ज़रूरत है। मैं इतना ही अभी कहना चाहता हूँ और मैं चाहता हूँ कि यहाँ से मैं बहुत कुछ जो इंडस्ट्री के लोग हैं, जो और भी लोग हैं जिसमें लगे हुए हैं, उनसे मैं कुछ सीख कर जाऊँ। तो बहुत शुक्रिया।
धन्यवाद सर। मिस्टर अरिजीत मुखर्जी।
Hello, Radhe Radhe everybody. In the midst of doctors, professor, I'm the only mister, and I'm blessed to be a part of this huge experience, an experience which entails a lot of knowledge. A lot of charismatic personalities are sitting in front of me, and I'm here to learn. I started my career as a music professional. I don't know how I landed up in teaching. I used to teach corporate people, train corporate people like CEOs, leaders. Then a friend advised me that I need to teach students. I said, students of 21st century, they are much more smarter than me, and us rather. But what I found out, to my utter surprise, was that they are lost somewhere. I believe that two things they lack is one, commitment, and more importantly, to finish anything is consistency. These two things are lacking in students. There's a lot of fearfulness attitude inside them. They're very talented, otherwise. I trigger and I tap that part so that the fear goes out. They can come out with really flying colors. And we are not living in this world actually and exactly who we are. We are pretending what we are not. So by the grace of Radharani, I have been given a fancy designation in this world as Assistant Vice President. But am I that? Do I need to carry myself exactly that way? So these are the questions I often ask myself. And I teach my students also the same thing, that please be what you are and you need to be happy. If you are not happy from inside, it is irrelevant whichever industry you are going in near future, you can never produce. It's not possible for anybody to produce. There are no laughters on the table. This is amazing, sir. And I really thank Mr. Sanjay. This is the first time I'm meeting you, that you actually took somebody from the industry who was thrown out. So a big round of applause for you, if you don't mind, please. This sympathetic view towards the world is missing. So we really need to come up with more people like you, so that people should not think that only on the basis of talent and only on the basis of skill sets one can be hired. It is also, there's a lot of lack of mentorship. Earlier, Rabindranath Tagore, who we celebrate in such a brilliant and fancy manner, and why not, never went to school. How do you define that? So it is not always the school, what we are following. It is not always the thinking that we possess. It's always the simplicity that attracts every person in this life. So I believe that to enrich our life, simplicity should be there, consistency definitely, and commitment to whatever you are doing. I'm a very small person in front of such big, eminent personalities, and I'm here to learn. So I think I'm definitely going to bag myself with a lot of information and knowledge.
Absolutely.
And leave. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arijit.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mukherjee. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tamajit Ghosh Roy, and Army, they call me Tiger Roy. So I work in the Army Institute of Management, Kolkata right now, and I look after the, beyond teaching, I look after the corporate relations and placements. I'm so honored to be in this gathering because there are so many senior educationists, esteemed educationists over here that have shared so much of thoughts. And thank you, Anand and Mr. Mittal, for inviting me to come over here and putting me in the last line of firing. Because what happened is, by this time I have understood what is going on, and I have really learned so much, enriched so much, that I can keep on speaking for next 1 hour with the content that you have already shared, right? But we have this habit of surgical strikes, right? My background is, I've worked with industry for about 10 years, about a decade, and 7 countries. And then I have worked with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam for almost a year. And he had this habit of injecting a virus of becoming an educationist, and somehow that got into me. And I came to the education from being a complete corporate high flyer. And now my background goes, I am an alumni from IIT Bombay, as well as I have completed my faculty education from IIM Ahmedabad. I have worked for almost a decade as a director of a business school in Mumbai, under the Mumbai University. And due to some reason, my family requirement, I'm back to Kolkata. Fortunately, Indian Army gave me an opportunity, and in last 2 years, they made me from a corporate mover to a kind of an gentleman officer. So that's how I'm here today. Thank you so much. So when I go back, I have this habit of doing a surgical operation, because they put us into a problem, right? Take it by horn, solve it, move on. That's how we work in the organization. So the best thing is that I will bring back to you people onto the topic of today's, right? I think I'll try to sum it up, not to end it up, sum it up. It's like, my understanding is that we are looking at required workplace skill sets in the evolving job market within the ambit of professional communication, professional qualifications, right? And the objective is to kind of help our students build a smashing career. That's probably is the summary of what we have been trying to discuss. So in my opinion, since I deal with these students and the corporate on a daily basis, maybe on an hourly basis, I understand probably the requirement of the corporate, right? From the students, from the institute, probably a bit notch better than someone who is looking at a helicopter vision. So I divide this workplace skill set into two domains. One is a pure domain skills, right? And the other is a soft skills that all of you have been kind of advising upon. When I look at the domain skills today, I have a point to make. It's like probably the curriculum that we use today is missing something. We talk about evolving job market, right? Is it really evolving? Where is it evolving? Since 2021, if you look at it, the data says 90% of the IT job listing has gone down. The job listing of the IT companies have gone down by 90%. We see so much of people being thrown out. What does it mean? Is it the importance of technology going out? Is it that? I don't know. My feeling and my limited understanding is that probably what is happening is technology is moving out of its stand-alone entity and entering into domains. So today someone who is, my background is professional qualification is an MBA. So my understanding is when you teach marketing today, if the curriculum doesn't have digital technology integrated, we are missing something. When I'm teaching finance today, if the financial technology is not integrated, we're missing something. So probably technology as a standalone may not have that kind of a value, but the students who are today studying, they need to have this understanding of the application of technology within their domain area. So that probably is something which is a content that needs to be looked at. So the professional qualifications, the professional content that we are delivering at this point of time needs to be seen from that point of view. We tried an experimentation to be done, like we are under Macaut University, and the curriculum is not so young. It's quite archaic. I mean, look at this archaic content, archaic curriculum. It misses that digital application in the real sense. So what we did is, we worked out a kind of a collaboration with Upgrad Campus for 5 years. And we're training our students beyond the classroom through the digital media onto something called digital marketing. All marketing students are studying that. What we have seen is that when we bring that digital component into the system, the employability of our students have enhanced. So that's something. If they were earning, let's say, 5 lakhs per annum as an average salary, it has today gone up to 8.5 lakhs per annum, which is a substantial growth under the employment scene that we have today. So that's what I believe today's domain is in the professional domain. The content that the curriculum and the content that we teach today needs to have an integration of the technology, right? So that's in part of the content. The other part is the delivery. Some senior educationists talk about developing the global competence. Definitely. How do we do that? Can we send our students on a yearly basis abroad? It's not possible. But today's technology gives us that power to integrate with the universities abroad and have those online kind of deliveries for the students. They have a kind of a understanding through this. So that's the advantage of the technology that we should be able to integrate within our system. The other part is a soft skill. So many people have said, so I don't want to get into that, but Dr. Barik sir, you said a very nice thing that when you ask the students to come into the communication skills or soft skills classes, the students don't come in, right? In IIT Bombay, we had this problem too. So our teachers did a very brilliant thing. So they did that communication skills paper is an audit paper, right? It's not a credit paper, it's an audit paper, but if you don't pass in that communication skills, and if you don't have a 90% attendance in that class, your credit papers are kept on hold. You will never get to know your result unless you pass your communication skills paper and you have 90% attendance. Now, even if you don't like it, you need to be sitting there. Among 700 students in one class, on the digital media they're teaching, you learn it, you perform, and then get your scores. Forcible teaching of this kind of right? Yes, madam. Communication skill, that's what we believe in our students is lacking. We have students, we are lucky to have students from the army community, armed force community. So what happens is, army ethos is inbuilt. Discipline, integrity, commitment, that comes through the family values. It's not a big problem. But what is a big problem is a communication. A Subedar's son getting into the MBA because of his academic qualification lacks communication skills. And that's where what we do is, we have integrated 100 hours of training through online as well as offline media to make them, speak the language that we need, corporate language that we need. So that's what I believe is from my part as of now, and as we go on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for your kind introduction and sharing your thoughts around on industry-academia gap. I think some of the great things have actually started pouring into this discussion, which is related to behavioral change among the learners. I do have some notes, and my apologies if I'm just making them point-wise. Unlearn and learn, somebody has mentioned about. Then sir has talked about the emergence of bots at the workplace. Of course, they are taking over there. So, I mean, those sci-fi movies which we see in the Hollywood, I mean, they are not moving away. I mean, that has started becoming the reality. How to manage within the change, I think somebody has mentioned, which is a very important point. So I just mentioned it in a double quote in my notes. Entrepreneurship ability. I'm not talking about entrepreneurial thought process, but I'm talking about entrepreneurship ability. And as ma'am mentioned about the Startup India, right? Then further to, we talked about, and someone has actually shared her experience related to campus to corporate, the program which she has started, and some of the learnings coming out of that. So a lot of learnings at the same time. Skills which are globally relevant. Requirement from the industry, including the communication. I think there's a lot of focus on the communication. I'll probably tell my own story. By the way, I have also done my entire education from the vernacular language. Academia and industry are not mutually exclusive. That's what ma'am said. Again, I have mentioned that in a double quote in my notes. It's a very important point because we always and often, in fact, the topic also which I begin with is the industry-academia gap. However, they are actually inclusive because they actually both need each other. They both are dependent on each other. I need the talent as an industry, then I need to look at the academia. And the reason somebody is actually studying in the first place is actually they are looking for the employment opportunity. So they both are actually inclusive and directly proportional to each other, I must say. How the professional bodies operate, I think sir has talked about. Theoretical mindset. I'll probably touch base upon the theoretical mindset a little bit more. And then interdisciplinary approach. Now, I'll probably share a couple of examples here. And one or two probably from my own life and one from ACCA. So interdisciplinary approach and how the evaluation happens and what do we do at ACCA. As I said in the beginning that we are a 120 years young organization. So there is a paper, so there are 13 papers in ACCA. All of them are actually computer based. So even if it is a descriptive case study, it is a computer based. Even if it is a financial management paper, we give the formulas in the question paper itself. So you'll get a limited functionality Excel. You get a formulas over there. Because at the workplace, you don't need to look for, right? I mean, what you need to find is a solution to the problem. You don't need to cram the formulas, right? And that's what we do. There is a paper called SBL, Strategic Business Leadership in our curriculum. And what do we do is that we give the pre-scene of, so that's a case study, 17, 18 pages of the case, one case, 100 marks. That's it. And I usually call it in my own language, it is more of a khichdi paper because it evaluates the learner on all the aspects of finance ranging from taxation to audit to the costing to the accounts, so on and so forth. Because that's how the real life works. In the real life, at the workplace, nobody's going to ask you that, was this in your chapter number 8 in the audit paper? It is going to be a situation and that's what the kids actually has to be exposed to and that's what we do. So we give that actually case 15 days prior with the examination, 15 days before we give the pre-scene of that case. Go and talk to your faculties, go and talk to the corporate, whoever you want to go and talk to. And then we give the case during the examination. Because that also helps to develop the ability to collaborate and communicate. There is a lot of focus happening over here on the communication as well. Collaboration is one of the very key skills, because the industries today, so gone are the days when actually one particular computer science engineer or probably a finance guy was sitting in his or her chamber and doing the work. I mean, they are working across the time zones, they are working across the continent. I've got a teams and I've got a colleagues who are based across all the globe. I mean, one of my customer service guys is actually based in Southeast Asia. His manager is actually based in Poland. His manager is based in Glasgow. And then further, the respective team is actually based in the UK and even in Singapore or across the world. That's how we deal with. And that's how the world is actually moving today. Yes, so that's what. So teaching is now actually has become more facilitation part, right? And the word is more global. I give you another example of mine. My own. I'm not a teacher at all. So जब मेरी ग्रेजुएशन तक ना मैंने हिंदी मीडियम स्कूल में पढ़ाई करी थी सरकारी. मेरे को अंग्रेजी बिल्कुल नहीं आती थी, and I actually got into an MBA college, which happens to be a good one. So I actually started getting scared. I mean, that how am I actually going to manage the things over there? So what I started doing during that 2-3 months of the period when I actually have to join, I take one novel on a daily basis, and I take that in the evening, and I finish that by the morning. I did not sleep till the time I did not finish that novel. And actually that has helped me to develop my communication skill. Of course, it is not still the best, but yes, that has helped me to develop a bit. I give you another example. So I was telling Prahlad sir yesterday, my wife is a scientist and she works with one of the leading agricultural university in the country, in Delhi. So she is actually very poor with maths. I can't tell her in front of her, of course. So, but what she does, I mean, and whenever she actually, and there are a lot of research papers to her credit, of course. And when I actually read those research papers, there is an exceptional amount of the data analysis being done into those research papers. So I asked her that, how did you actually manage to do that? She simply says, I don't need the data to be calculated by myself. That's something which I know that I am poor with. There are softwares which actually help me to calculate the data. So there are a lot of softwares which are helping her with the statistics. My job is actually to analyze the data and find a solution to that. The reason I'm actually bringing this topic over here is that's what actually outlines to what the industry is looking for today. They want the people who can actually apply the knowledge. And that's what actually ACCA also does. But moving on, I mean, so what we are gonna do is that probably I'll ask a couple of questions and I would like to deliberate. But whoever actually feels like speaking about that, I mean, you can just pick up the mic and, my question is, as an academician, what do you think is needed to bridge the gap between theoretical learning and the practical learning? Because that's a very big demand coming from the industry that the kids are actually not able to apply the knowledge. They may have the knowledge, but they can't apply it. So as an academician, one is internship. No, so I'll probably rephrase my question here. Let's leave the industry side aside for a second here. That what industry is expected to do along with the institutions, right? First of all, let's deliberate that as an institution, what we should do, right? Yes, sir.
Yeah, as I'm belonging from business school, and business school I believe B is for business, industry, and A is for academics and research. So there must be a perfect blend between these two. And for that, just to make them industry ready, First and foremost thing, what I believe, that when we are preparing our curriculum, our syllabus, there we should involve, generally we have a syllabus committee. There we should involve industry people as well in the curriculum development. That is the first and foremost. And then as AICT is also now saying that within, out of 5 assistant professor from academia, 1 from, at least from industry people should be there, whether he is having PhD or not. Because in our teaching input also, we should have industry people within our teaching fraternity. That is second. And third is there can be mentoring system by industry people, and also like live project, internship, case studies. With all this, I think there will be a holistic development by which we can make them industry ready. But apart from that, what I believe, especially for management student, my MBA student, apart from our own curriculum, they should be also do some, because nowadays we can't provide all the courses as per our, because we have also our AICT guideline or UGC guideline. Within that framework, we have to run our show, run our curriculum. So at the same time, we should encourage, or there must be some value-added course or some other non-academic course by which students should, and we will encourage them to undergo some professional education, professional studies. Like it can be CPA, it can be, like mainly for finance student. It can be CMA, it can be CFA, because even I am B school grads, they are also pursuing CFA, and if they have at least level 1 in the CFA, they will have a much better age in placement as well. So that way we can make them industry ready. Only by our own curriculum, it won't help.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I?
What I feel is that we have to impart skill-based education compared to the prototype education what is going on. Skill-based education, what I feel is that if we have to impart the teach them the communication skill, number 1. Number 2 is the professional skill, a domain-based skill. Some dignitaries have identified the domain-based skill. This means that soft skill, the hard skill, that is the technological skill. And the thing is that the problem-solving skill. So the education system should be changed in that way. Not like that, some dignitaries have identified that when we call our students to take the skill-based class, they don't come. No, the skill-based education will be very intricately communicated to them and intricately amalgamated to the regular education system. That's what I feel, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I think I'm like Microsoft Teams here, who is just looking at who has raised.
Just one point, if you allow me.
Yes.
Okay. So I think very well said by Madam, as well as Sir Sitangshu. I too believe that the skill sets could be bifurcated into broader areas. One is domain-based, and another is very much personality development related. What we call it like communication skills. So communication is not only, now in a modern times, we can't understand communication that what you are communicating in your vernaculars or the common English platform is not only a communication. A broader understanding about communication is like when you are at workstation, what you want to communicate related to task, to maybe your superiors or subordinates or your peer colleagues, that has to be well understood. And that too, not only with a communication part in written or spoken any language wise, it has to be like very much work related communication. And in modern times, communication is also related to one very particular point, like whether you are digitally upgraded or not, that is somehow related to communication. Number 1 point. Secondly, the personality development. Because today's, organizations are looking forward to have managers in the, leaders in the mask of managers. It is not that you are joining any organization and doing all operational duties, daily, regular operational obligations that you are, for that you are, because that what we discussed earlier in some couple of minutes before, that bots would be replacing you. That is the point, na? So, organizations are actually looking ahead for having more and more leaders into the system. Those leaders who can have their broader vision with a greater personality, something which can make, them understand how to lead the team, their subordinates, their workmen, work people, and also to have an option or approach to expand their business, maybe within the political boundary of nationality or beyond, political boundary of nationality. We can just imagine that on this planet, one of the biggest, corporation that we call it Google. And you just see when Larry Page and Sergey Brin, when they formatted this company, they are basically introverts, but they are very good in domain skills. That's what we are talking about, domain skills. But they are into crunch of great personality, and henceforth they just included Sundar Pichai. Now Sundar Pichai is from India, but he is leading this global company. We don't know, many of you may not be knowing the names of Sergey Brin and Larry Page, but everybody knows this present leader, that is Sundar Pichai. So I mean to say one very important point, that when Yashpal committee came in 2009, we are having so many students apart from various disciplines, maybe arts, commerce, that many people, some of them were discussing about. One is like professional education, another is like generic education. So professional education, we are having so many colleges, abundance of institutions, maybe the management colleges, engineering colleges, medical colleges and all. But for arts colleges or humanities college, generally students who intended to take some learnings, they were supposed to head on to some government colleges only. Yashpal committee recommended for right to education in 2009, and it was then there was a dearth of universities, and he recommended that let there be 631 universities, which was at that very present times, it was only 481 universities in India. Now we are living in 2024, where data is like we are having more than 1,000 universities. We are having more than 159 institutions of national repute. We are having more than 361 private universities. We are having more than 54 institutions like IITs, central universities. We are having 416 institutions which are supposed to be understood as a deemed universities. All are busy in catering the needs and requirements of students of India. At present, the data speaks like more than 4.33 crore students are enrolled in these institutions. 4.33 crores. And if we further speak about the data, in 2020 and 21, it was 50 lakh, appreciation in female, students across all gender-wise, male plus female. So there was complete appreciation in the intake enrollment of female, students. And all now, one or two more minutes that I would be taking. Now from Yashpal committee. Now we are in with this Krishna Swami Kasturi Rangan's, NEP 2020 that we are into. Now we are discussing. That time when Yashpal came, he just came up with right to education for everyone from 14 years to 25 years. Now this particular, committee, they spoke about education must be more and more of employability related. And henceforth, what you started with the point, Mr. Mittal, is internship. So in this particular NEP 2020, internship has been placed into the school education itself. Right from standard 5 only, the students are supposed to be introduced into the area of interest where the students can get into their choices and learn hands-on experiences, and they can just make a career into that area of interest. Right from there to, now PG programs, what to say, the undergrad programs has become more important because now according to NEP 2020, it has converted into, rather 3, it has converted into 4 years program. And every year with multiple entry, multiple exit, the system is designed in such a way that you can leave the program just after 1 year with a certificate and get into job. Again, you can enter, you can leave further after 1 another year with a diploma program, then degree program, and then finally 4th year with honors, with research or without research. So there is a scope. Learning the skill set, maybe domain related, maybe soft skills related, but this NEP of Kasturi Rangan committee is more oriented towards job, more towards employability, and now more than 1,000 universities of India is actually busy in catering such kind of a skill upgradation. Mission Skill India also came up with such kind of, where not in the universities, but the mission was so, wide and so large that it has really upgraded the skills, lower level skills, which is for, catering the needs of the industry of the, nation. Because of more and more FDIs we require to have with our large demographic dividends that we are holding in this nation. So it is somehow Mission Skill India has catered the needs of the unemployed youth of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Just one simple suggestion for us, for degree college.
Reverse it.
Sorry, extremely sorry. For me and for all my colleagues of General Degree College, I think a dialogic method of teaching is more helpful where teacher develops a probing mindset in students. That is my suggestion. If we can do these things, then it can enhance skill development also.
Yes, I hear that many people have the suggestions. I think need to clarify certain issues are there. Let us see that this education, industry, the gap between these two things, and how to reduce this gap. See, present day education, if you look this earlier education systems or NEP 2020, NEP 2020, it is an outcome-based education. Choice-based credit systems are there. There are a lot of provisions are there. So one can opt the subject area outside their domain area. So that provisions are there. Now let me talk this presently the university systems, particularly this professional degrees. The professional degrees, it is designed by the professional body, and there is university have the scope to modify it. This is limit 15-20% they can modify this syllabus. They can include many other things. This course, if the professional courses are there, it must be industry oriented. It must be technology oriented. It was talking about this, the domain technology. No, domain is the subject knowledge. See, the skill, if you look as per my suggestions, the soft skills, then domain knowledge, and the other technical skills. So this education and their training, that becomes this skill, and the skills will be preferred by this industry. So industry expect a skilled person who is the expert, who can manufacture something, who can make this quality control test, who can design, develop, deliver something else. That expert they want. They need these ready-made things. So for that, the first and foremost is domain knowledge. The subject knowledge should be very confident, should be clear. And then rest their orientation, their training, their internship, their observership, their other issues related, these technical skills or hard skills. So if these hard skills, the provisions are there. All institutions, they should make the program from the beginning of the course. You know, I was working in Saudi Arabia, and it was a very nice system. When they start any institutions, they make this calculation, how many people are there and what are the rest training facilities are there. Then this course started. So what in our India, we have a huge population, huge younger persons. We don't have the sufficient required number of industry for training, hands-on training, and all these things are there. And that's why this problem arising. We are somehow, our traditional system is a bookish knowledge, theoretical knowledge much more than this practical knowledge. So that's why this is a problem facing. When an undergraduate coming out, we have seen also in our university or many of the university. So university is supposed to do collaboration with this industry or hospitals. And how many? Of course, the many university colleges, they do collaboration, MOU signing with this company. But is it a required number? That is the one thing. Other things, the skills can come from this each part of this education. Either go for this practical class, either go for this project work, the internship. Are we looking for this? How far the skill there? Is there, what about their communication skill, interpersonal skill, numerical skills, research skills? There are many type of skills. So this is the things, problems are there. We have a gap, but this gap, we have the mindset up to reduce this gap. Reduce the gap, then only our undergraduates, our graduates will get place in the industry. And in this matter, the professional skills, professional qualification is a very, very important issue, which is this topic today. So I think these all provisions are there. Only thing is our attitude to apply all these things. If the professional students are there, the professional skills should be developed. For the necessary arrangements should be made. Collaboration, tie-up, link up, this like that. You know, AICD has suggested the earlier things very nicely. This IIPC, Industry Institute Partnership Cell, that is working for this, to reduce this gap. Even UGC made this university, this education industry tie-up. So these provisions are there. Only thing is we have to apply. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Before I move on to, and there are a couple of more points to discuss around, especially with the trends in the technology and sustainability towards education and the professional bodies, how they can actually support the industry and academia. But and I would like to start from you, sirs, and given that your vast experience. But before that, may I please ask Professor Dipali to share a brief introduction of us, please, with the audience.
Before I share the introduction, a very good evening to everyone, and please pardon me for coming late. We had a college program and I somehow managed to get out of it. I am currently heading an institute which is known as J.D. Birla Institute, affiliated to Jadavpur University. Technically, if you look at it, we are the only college affiliated to Jadavpur University, though they have another institute which is under their parent body called Institute of Business Management. But we've been affiliated to Jadavpur since inception, and we are more than now 60 years old. So 1962 was the time when we started, and 63 we got permanent affiliation to JU. It's a college which is not that known because, in the sense that people don't know that there is a college which is affiliated to Jadavpur University. And I have been an alumnus of the same college, so I have grown, and I've been there for 30 years now. I've been the principal for the last 17 years, and we are just trying to do whatever best we can, looking up to the standards of our university and definitely Calcutta as a city, which was once upon a time an educational hub. Of course, there are challenges, and we all as members of the educational fraternity must be focusing on those challenges as well, and not just the skills. Since I have come late, I have not been able to hear eminent speakers here of their opinion. But just to start off, and then maybe we can have another round. You see, I always have this question in mind. We have always been linking placements with education, and that is where I think we all are going wrong, because irrespective of whether the child has soft skills or whether the child have any kind of skills in the sense, what the industry needs, let us face it that over the years they have got employment. They have. It's not that people are not employed. So there is something further we can do to enhance this. And if all responsibilities come on academic institutions, there is going to be a problem, and we all are facing that problem. NEP does mention that skills should be a part of the school curriculum. That's wonderful. At least, even if the skill is not built up, at least the fact that in the Indian scenario, where we do not respect certain trades. For example, today if you talk about a carpenter, a painter, an electrician, they are trained. But we in India do not consider them to be the so-called elite, or they can never rise up in the society. Of course, this is going to be addressed if we start these kind of skills and built in the importance of these skills in the school at the school level. But technically speaking, those skills are not what the skills where they will be probably becoming carpenters or painters or electricians or plumbers or whatever we may call them. The question is that, as ma'am had said one very important point, we just have to make them aware of how to learn. The moment they know how to learn in today's digital world, in today's world where AI is coming up, there need not be any kind of training imparted, because they will know how to learn themselves. That is where our Indian education system is not going in the right track, because we are moving into rote learning. We are telling them that this is the skill you have to imbibe, this is the format of the skills that you have to learn. There is a skill which comes automatically, and if they can learn, and they can learn to unlearn, and then again learn, that is all that we as teachers and educators can facilitate. And that is where NEP plays a very important role. But as far as internship training and these areas in the NEP which is mentioned, I would just share with you, our college had a mandatory internship training over the last 30 years, more than 30 years. Children are getting trained, but when they are going for their training, they are immediately absorbed, irrespective of whether they are skilled or not skilled. Why they are absorbed? The reason is that the children, when we get the feedback from the industry who are taking our students during internship training, they say that, ma'am, your children have a desire to learn. They have a focus where we can train them the way we want to be trained. So they are in the malleable state, and they are in a receptive state. And this is something we can, take it forward, rather than having a framework of how skill training has to be done and what needs to be done. This is a thought which I would leave with, and I'm sure all other eminent speakers are there, and we can take up from here as to how we can grow.
Madam, this may be from all branches of education, but except these engineering and professional courses.
Sir, my college,
hands-on training is required.
My college is a professional. In fact, we have off-the-beat programs. We do not have traditional courses. Of course, we started BBA and commerce later. It was originally a home science institute. We shut down home science in 2009. And it's very strange that the city of West Bengal, the state of West Bengal, technically now has only one home science college with no home science teacher. They are all being taught by teachers who are not in the field of home science. But having said that, we have moved on to the 5 specializations of the home science branch. So since 2010, we've been offering courses like food and nutrition, textiles, interior designing as degree programs. They are already skill-based. So depending on the courses, even in the skill-based programs, the focus should be on to ignite the student and train them how to learn. In today's world, when they are using Google and they are not wanting to come to classes, or for that matter, they don't want rote learning, where open book system is becoming prevalent, the focus should be on training them how to use that open book and how to understand what is there. When so much of data is available in the market, even for engineering, they need to understand how to choose data, how to assimilate data, and how to learn on their own. I think that is going to be the future, and we must be flexible in accepting what is happening rather than being in a denial mode. This is my personal opinion. And we have such other senior members, Dhrubajyoti
Madam,
sir
motivation is required. Motivation required because students are how to learn and interest for the learning and all these things are there. But particularly for this technical, engineering, professional, medicals and all these things, it requires the technical skills that is only possible by hands-on training. So that should be arranged by this institute.
Certainly, sir. I think some of the great ideas coming in through this discussion. One is, of course, which is about inclusion of industry while taking the curriculum or academic decision making, especially during the board of studies and the academic councils. Right? This is a very common practice in the down south, at least that much I can say, because I've been on the board of studies of several colleges and the universities down south myself. And one thing which is very importantly being highlighted by Professor is the temperament. I think, in fact, as an industry also, and when I actually make any hiring decision for my own team, the first thing which I always look for is the temperament. Because if the person actually has the desire to learn, he or she will learn end of the day, right? So that's most important. And I'll probably switch on to the next discussion point. So, and my apologies for putting me on the spot, both of you. With the advent of the technology which is now, the new technologies are coming across, like the blockchain, the artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, big data, data analysis, so on and so forth, right? And the chat GPT, of course. I'm sure that we must have all seen the improvement in the submissions which are made by the students nowadays. How do you think that, as an institution yourself, or probably how do you think that institutions can adapt the curriculum to incorporate these some of these emerging technologies which are actually taking the future forward?
Thank you, Prabhanshu. But before answering this particular question, I have a couple of things in my mind because I thought in the first stage I should mention about it. You know that the title, it says professional qualification, developing skills and workplace. The three different terms are there. I think in this era of transformative education, the definition of all these things have been changed. We are talking about over here, you know, somebody said that what's going to happen to the English students. You know, that right now Cognizant is taking maximum number of English students for their content writers. Number of pharmaceutical companies, they are taking this. So it's not general degree students. They should know that what are the opportunities for them in front of them. So why you said this is professional course? English can be a professional course. There are something, this changing scenario we have to understand. And that's why we have to understand why NEP. Now, NEP, which started to discuss on these ideas from 2018 onwards, there are 5 different points they have tried to put forward to everybody. I think Professor Ghosh also knows about it in the committee members. In different committees, they actually discussed. And the fantastic thing what they have came out, you know that the stress on liberal arts. Why they have given stress on liberal arts? The liberal arts being given that stress because it's the most neglected part. Why they have given that stress on skill? Remember our student days? Whenever we have gone for our studies, normally this concept is there, the students who are not, excuse me, who are not good, they will go for the skill training. The students who are good, they will go for, in our time, they go for the general courses. Second one will go for the professional course like engineering, medical. And the third set are going for the skill. So whole thing is changing. That's why we are talking about the transformative education. And that's why NEP has given so much of stress on this skill. The concept of skill is completely changed. Skill can be associated with any subject area, any domain. We have to understand that, because workplace is different right now. Workplace doesn't mean that pharmaceutical industry only. Workplace doesn't mean an engineering manufacturing company. There are so many different types of workplaces coming up, so the definition of these professional courses are also going to be changed. And I'm sure that after a few years, you will see professional courses are completely different than what we are thinking right now as engineering. You were right that when you said that IT jobs are gone. Why IT jobs are gone? There are some other jobs are coming up, and those jobs are actually different from what we talk about the IT jobs. And thereby, I just wanted to give a stress on this particular terminologies, that professional qualification, developing skills, and the workplace is actually very much related with our mindset. We have to accept the change in the mindset, and that mindset is everything is a professional course. You look at it, you look at this, and I really want to give Shubhraji Hardik Abhinandan, because you mentioned acquired knowledge, required knowledge. So acquired knowledge and required knowledge in any domain area can give rise to an understanding of how it could be applied for professional courses. And thereby, what everybody actually mentioned about is, we all actually got the job, and we got the job. I never had the skill-based training over there. I never had this type of things in my mind, all these things. And see, as I am mentioning to you, at our time, the general, going to physics, chemistry, mathematics, these are for the top students of any students coming out of the higher secondary. Economics also. No, what I'm saying in the science area, and economics is now considered as science. You have to think about it also. So there is a completely, all the time, the evolution of our understanding, and evolution is always going to be balanced with our changing mindset. So how much we are flexible in our attitude, that is going to help us to actually try to give us an idea. And in that respect, I really want to thank Debapriyo, because Dr. Debapriyo very interestingly mentioned, I know that when he mentioned about the course, we are thinking of what happened, why he is mentioning about the course and everything. But the curriculum development is going to be one of the most challenging when you are talking about. The curriculum cannot be a static one. That's what when you mentioned rightly that it's archive courses, what you can find it out in the account management course. This is the thing where we are lacking. We have to have our changing dynamic curriculum, and that dynamic curriculum should fit into the requirement of that particular period of time. And you cannot say that is going to be true for another 10 years. After 10 years, you have right now, I think every year it has to be changed. So fast developing, and all the different attitude, what we are finding out, are continuously changing. And the last thing, I don't want to take much more time, it is just what I found that when Prabhanshu is mentioning about this paradigm shift of considering the Gen Z, and for them to find out what are the future talents. I think future talents lies in all domains. It's not with any specific domain. Thank you.
Professor Chattopadhyay has mentioned so many aspects. Now, you are mentioning about that employability. We have to develop the professional skill for the employability, because when a student enter in a university or a college, they are thinking where I will go, what I will do, something like that, skill. Now, I have, I have seen many students, those who are engineer, they become IS officer or WS officer. There are many students, doctor, they become a cinema artist. Suvendu Chatterjee, cinema artist, what is a skill? We don't understand about the skill and the efficiency. That's the question. In Bengali, they are same, Dokkhota, but what is the difference? Efficiency is something different, skill is something different. Skill is just like a coefficient of performance. I am giving something and how you are applying in your real life. You see that when we are thinking for the economic stabilization, we have to think the three aspects: resource generation, resource distribution, and the resource recirculation. Industry nowadays is changing the strategy from one end to another end. And the definition of time is varying from industry to academic institution. Industry's time is very contractive time because they want to make the product, they want to launch it, they want to change the industry from one part to another. But academic institution, you have a, that 3-tier education system is continuing, the same thing, same course, same curriculum. Now we are introducing the 4-tier education system, NAP20. Change, same thing will go, but what is the need for the industry? Can we think every year that need of industries? We are not thinking. Industry demands something different. You see, 2 days ago, Prime Minister has inaugurated 3 big programs in our country. 2 in Gujarat, Dharera, and that's Anand, cheap industries. Intel is coming here, right? Another is Morigram in Assam. Can you tell me what type of skill is required on the technologies? Where the people will go? Not only that, that this automatic system, but there are some of the aspects, particularly downstream industries, how to develop the contact, how to integrate them into the system itself. Now, another very important aspect, what is thinking in my mind is students are committing suicides. In IITs and other things, the report is coming. Why? That's the biggest question. Can we not, take out from that negative one to positive end? The role of a teacher is very good, and we are not developing the teacher. We need to develop the skilled teacher rather than the skilled student. That's my submission, that we have to develop the good teacher. They can generate the skill, they can encourage the student that this is your idea, this is your thinking, you think. I'm giving a simple example, one of the very quick example. If I ask a student, what is the formula for a plus b whole square? He will tell a square plus 2ab plus b square. I told, can I not set it a square plus b square? You don't know, you are wrong. But I will tell, you think that you are telling a square plus 2ab plus b square. I am thinking this a square plus b square means 2ab term is 0 to me. Now see, he may ask the question, why 2ab term is 0? 2 cannot be 0. A cannot be 0, then I will not get a square. B cannot be 0, then I will not get b square. Why are you telling the 2ab term is 0? So the thinking process to me, I told him, I suggest him, look at the mirror. Your left hand become right hand become left hand. Go to the mirror, set up yourself. Can you see anything? No. Now, you think that A is an integer and B is image integer. If I can superpose them, I can get a 0. You can see A is a matrix, 0, 1 matrix, and B is a 1, 0 matrix. I will multiply 0, 0 matrix. Then question is, what is 0? You look at here, A plus 0 is equal to A minus 0 is equal to A into 0 is equal to 0, A divided by 0 is equal to infinity, A to the power 0 is equal to 1. You see 1, A plus 1 will increase, A minus 1 will decrease, A to 1 is equal to A divided by 1 is equal to A to the power 1 is equal to A. What is the difference? 0 is an operator and A is an integer. We require a very good teacher to operate the student such that you can make it 0 or infinity or 1. That's why good teachers require. We have to develop a good teacher. Thanking you.
Sir, I have a question for you. Sir, here. Sir, I have a small question for you.
Please.
Because y'all both are the learned minds. So were you being beaten when you were in school? If you had done any mistakes? Have your teacher ever beaten you or scolded you when you were in school?
I born and brought up in a very remote village of Birbhum, where Kobi Joydev was born, far away.
Yes, Karana Mandalam.
I went to a school which was...
May I say these lines of Kavi Jaydev?
Kavi Jaydev.
Yes. Karana Mandalam Mama Shirashi Mandalam, right? Dehi Padapallavam Radhike Udaram.
A remote village near that thing. Yes. And from 5 onward, I was in a hostel.
Yes.
And the school was originated in a toll, 1826 school. And no one tell me you go to physics. In my life, I was a editor of a world magazine. And when in our time, we have to choose that, the stream. In the class 9, I choose that I will go for arts. And one of my teacher take my ear and tell, I'm telling he's from East Bengal. He says, Pola, bhalo onko koros, Robindranath was shocked. Na khai dibe morbi. So I go to the physics. No one tell me. So teacher, you see?
Yes, yes, sir. So this is my point. We have created a weak nation. That we agree, sir. Because that teacher does not, he never had an agenda that if you reached a certain level in your life, you will be giving him money.
Sir, I'm giving another example.
Yes. Sir, I agree with you with whatever you said, sir.
No, I'm telling you, one of the examples is a real example. In Mahabharata, I have seen Dronacharya has 105 students.
Yes.
100 rope and 5 pound rope.
Yes.
One day he gave an assignment that you have to hit the eye of a bird. And he told everyone, go and come out. And he asked one by one what he was thinking. The tree, the plant, the leaves. Yeah. He asked the Uju, what are you seeing? The
eye.
You know, the eye.
Yes.
Fire. You know what is the significance? You know, Draupadi is something to win. And Draupadi cannot be snatched. Shubhodra Haran, kintu Draupadi Bijoy. If you want to, Draupadi may be a lady, maybe a kingdom, maybe a fame, something like that. Draupadi Bijoy. What to Bijoy? There is a fish, a wheel is rotating, and there is a shadow in the water. You have to hit the eye of that fish. Arjuna succeed because he hit the eye of that bird. That's why in Gita Karma Yoga it's mentioned, Yoga Karmoshu Kaushalam. Concentration is a device for doing work. It was a template of the IIT Kharagpur.
Yes, sir. I, sir, agree. This is what I am also...
Without, you know, that yoga,
sir,
concentration.
right now, the young generation is having lack of knowledge. That's the reason they are struggling so much. Even on an interview, on a simple thing that please introduce yourself, they are not able to introduce themselves. They're so nervous. So y'all got the job in such big places because you had immense knowledge. That you cannot disagree, sir.
Sir, I'm telling you, I have teach Imperial College. I have teach Cambridge. I have teach Newcastle. I give a lecture at UCLA. I give a lecture at University of Texas Austin. And in my GSc engineering thesis, Sir John Bannister good enough on my examiner. He told me the one thing. When I meet him, he told me that I have seen your thesis. I know how to develop. Because, you know, this is a big story. He told that I started the work for developing the lithium-ion battery at the age of my 52. Now I'm thinking for the sodium-ion batteries because sodium is available in seawater. And he told me that soda glass is the mediator for the battery. And you have done the technology how to put contact on soda glass. And he asked me that what you are going to do. I told that I'm going to retire in 2015. He mentioned what nonsense you are getting. He mentioned basically you are a researcher. A researcher run behind the truth, to know the truth, to feel the truth. Your system will not allow to retire. That I am feeling today. I have a project for Government of India, hydrogen project, 1 crore rupee in a private university. This is the only private university got that project.
Sir, but correct me if I am wrong that...
I hate to interrupt in between, but so much tempting this discussion is, but we also have a networking dinner. Just one point from you, sir, and then I'll probably move forward because it's a hard stop for us. Just one liner, sir.
Just in continuation with Professor Chattopadhyay, I just want to say that for teachers, we have to adopt in teaching learning process, the incremental innovation technique. That means, as an example, just I want to say 2 points I'll just mention. That means that is, as an example, you see that Kodak is now obsolete. But Gillette, it is still relevant in the market because they are adopting the incremental innovation. And another point I want to say that we have to see that this teaching learning process, because we are facing this problem that the students are not coming to the class. That means they are not accepting this type of teaching learning process. Regarding this thing, we have to see that what type of teaching learning process they actually want. And for that, I am giving an example. Haier, a big company of China, they are the producer of the washing machine. And one day they found that the GM of that company, they found that in a particular village, all the villagers, they are buying the Haier washing machine. GM was surprised. Then GM personally visited that particular village and he found that the villagers, they are using that washing machine for washing their vegetables. And by saying that, they particularly attach one attachment through which the Haier washing machine can be used for washing the vegetables. I want to mention this thing that we teachers have to adopt what our student wants. Thank
Just
you.
on a lighter note, nobody will say that the daag achhe hain after this example. But I just have to move
To
forward.
say, hello. Just one thing I want to mention.
Yes.
We learned from here itself that India is now occupying the second position so far so research is concerned. And for the last 10 years or so, we have seen that both in politics as well as in education, much emphasis is being given on research. But we use one terminology, R&D. The integral part of research is development. Lot of emphasis is being given on research, no emphasis on much development. Development means putting the results of research on a commercial basis. So here is an opportunity for the industrialists. Industrialists need not put their nose into education, but industrialists can put the results of research on a commercial basis. And that will make research much more meaningful and effective. That is my suggestion.
Yes, sir. And in fact, that is some of the ITs are already doing it. I mean, anyways, I just didn't. I wanted to probably give a brief 5 minutes presentation, which I wanted to do it in the beginning. The reason I did not do it because I did not want to prejudice the conversation. But before that, I just wanted to let everybody know that what the ACCA is all about. As I said, that we are a professional body incorporated in 1904. So we have been for 120 years plus, and we are one of the largest and the oldest professional body in the world. Just to let you know, I mean, we have a lot of first in the world as well. Like, for example, the first female coming from any professional body in the world in the field of finance and accounting has come from ACCA. The first female who has become the president of any financial body has actually come from ACCA. We are the first body in the world to have IFRS standards into our curriculum. And we do have close to 1 million students and the members who are present across 181 countries, which is 90% of the globe typically. What do we do in India? We do have 4 offices, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Bangalore. I'm based in Delhi. I do have 65,000 plus students in India. We work with 140 plus universities and the colleges across. I mean, you take any big name, we work with them typically, as simple as that. We do have 60 plus approved learning partners and 100 plus corporate relationships in India. But overall, we do have close to 7,500 employer relationships worldwide. 90% of the Fortune 500 companies are actually working with ACCA, just to put it across simply. Some of these university partners, as I mentioned, I can't put 114 names, so I just chose some of them. We work with Christ, MG in down south, Mount Carmel.
Mumbai?
Sorry?
Sophia College is Mumbai?
Sophia? Sophia is in Ajmer.
Ajmer.
Yeah.
Not the Mumbai.
Sorry? St. Joseph's, I'm talking about Hyderabad as well as in Bangalore. Then Osmania, Calicut, DAVV, Ladakh, Delhi University, Mumbai University, so on and so forth. Now, here it is. This is, so ACCA does a lot of research as well. Okay. So this is one of the research which we have done, which is digital account in the future, and into which industry ACCA members, they have actually contributed to this research, and this particular graph talks about that which part of the world actually how much respondents were, right? And what were their job roles, what were their experience and the seniority within the firm itself. But moving on, the excerpts, and I do have, it's a very thorough research, but I do have just a couple of slides over here for the sake of conversation. That some of the emerging technologies, of course, while we do have IoT, everybody has almost Alexa or probably connected devices at their home. Big data is, of course, booming. Virtual reality and augmented reality. Then, of course, blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, advanced robotics. Somebody has already mentioned about the bots. So these are some of the technologies coming. And of course, one of the panelists has also mentioned that some of the core jobs have started now moving out, right? So where are those going? But before that, let's talk about that how the technology is being adopted in the world. Rather talking about the graph, I'll probably give you an example. The fastest, a company which reaches to fastest 1 million user was actually Instagram. And they reached that mark in 90 days. You imagine how much time ChatGPT took versus to Instagram? 5 days. Within 5 days, ChatGPT took to reach to 1 million mark. So not all technologies are equal if we talk about their adoption into the system, right? We talk a lot about their technology, but how the technology is moving, and then there is a swelling level of the investment which is coming, and there is an example of the big four from the Pricewaterhouse, KP, Deloitte, and EY, that what kind of the investment which they are making in the technology. Moving on, here is the adoption. Now, this talks about that what technologies are getting adopted. As I mentioned that technology adoption also has a different pace depending on what technology it is. And the highest level of adoption is, of course, the big data analysis, IoT, and then some of the other network-related technologies. And so far, blockchain and simulation, those are actually relatively lower in terms of their adoption. But that is increasing. Where those are being adopted highly? In terms of the finance and accounting space, of course, the big four and the mid-tier technology firms, mid-tier accounting firms, they are adopting the technology fastest. While the small accounting firms and not-for-profit, their adoption of the technology, the pace at which they are adopting the technology is the least. Now, what it explains? This explains the refining role of the opportunity. As Sir has mentioned, not all the jobs are actually gone. They probably have transformed, right? And that transformation is going to be far, far faster than the next few years. So in terms of the finance and accounting, at least I can talk about, the transformation is more towards producer of the data to now the value creator. It is about that the finance professionals are not sitting on the decision-making table along with the CEOs and helping them to make the decisions rather than just putting some spreadsheets, throw them, and somebody else actually takes the decision for them. And what they are actually focusing on, from where the firm is actually driving the value, is coming from the concepts like sustainability, ESG reporting, carbon accounting, right? Insight generation, compliance and control, and the transactional efficiency. So these are the few areas where the finance professionals are actually moving forward, and that's where the majority of the jobs and the majority of the value is coming to the finance as a function and to the organizations at large. When we talk about the professional qualification, and the reason we actually talked about it, because professional qualifications, actually they bring the excellence in the chosen field, whatever the field it is, right? It could be finance, it could be engineering, it could be medical sciences, or it could be liberal art, for example. They bring the excellence in the chosen field. They help to progress the career. They bring the valuable career support. There is something called CPD, continuous professional development. That's where the professional qualifications do support. They help, of course, with the better salaries of who else does not want it, and the travel and mobility. And mobility is not only about that I can be mobile within the geographies, but mobility is also about that can I be mobile within the functions, within the industries, right? That's what the professional qualifications bring on the table. Now, with this, I probably pose a last question, and this is going to be a hard stop for me in the next 5 minutes because I have to go to the airport to catch my flight, which I don't want to miss. But of course, I'll pick that up separately. So, as a professional body, and ACCA is one of the leading professional bodies in the world in the field of at least finance and accounting, but as a professional body, what do you think we can support the academia with? And I just wanted to be probably a fireside, just one point that, okay, this is what I want types. So as a professional body, how can we support the academia? That's yes.
I am asking that for general courses, suppose in our institute, the students of BSc honors, history honors, philosophy honors, political science honors, we are thinking that first we search their job opportunity, what type of job they can be. So how ACCA can help to give them the professional qualifications so that they make them relevant to their workplace. I'm not telling the industry in their workplace.
Yes. ACCA, of course, help us in developing skills for BCom students. Already we have started certificate courses with Post and Accounts Department of some professional agency for calculation of GST and telemas and all those things. So if you can extend your cooperation to all these degree colleges, it will be beneficial.
Okay. Shark is here in Calcutta. He is based in Calcutta. I think one thing which I firmly believe in is that if you don't want to innovate or if you can't innovate, let's create, right? So that's very important. I think some of the innovations which ACC has done in the industry, which is great. We are the very first professional body in the world which has actually conducted remotely invigilated exams for our students worldwide during the COVID time. So COVID came in March 20 in India. We could not conduct our exams in June, but we were the one, ACCA could not because there was a complete lockdown in India at that point in time. We were the very first professional body in the world. In September, we did 100% remotely invigilated exams. So you can actually give ACCA exams from your home. And it's a complete AI-based and highly technological advanced thing what we have done, right? As I said that, I think what is most important here is that what we are teaching to the student or what the learner is actually learning, what is the relevance? What is the time duration of that relevance? If it is relevant today, it is not important. Is it going to be relevant with this learner when he or she is actually getting graduated? Right? That's very important. If I teach a student Indian GAAP today, now India has converged to Indian accounting standards 5 years back. If I teach them Indian GAAP, it is not going to be relevant for them because they will not work on that, right? So I understand that there are a couple of points, but how else ACCA can help, or probably any professional body for the matter?
Sir, I can mention few points. We, the general degree colleges, generally offer communication skill-oriented certificate courses, computer courses, everything. Nowadays, few points are very important regarding professional skills. I am mentioning those. Self-assessment and interpersonal skill, effective working style, how to create first impression, understanding self and each other at workplace, teamwork, dedication, such type of skill. ACC can think about those items which may be helpful for personal development.
Those are very much the part of the ACCA curriculum by default. Yes, sir. No, I'm talking about how do you think that the professional bodies can help at large? Okay. So you and I speak the same language.
Majority of the students who are basically doing commerce-oriented course, are they aware of this particular program? The answer is no. Majority of the students are not aware of that. So you need to get into that first. Second, when we are looking for, because some of the premier institutes like us, the students can bear the cost of ACCA. But for the other institutions like government-aided college, other colleges and everything, are they in a position to bear the cost of ACCA? But for that, at presently, the government of West Bengal has come out with West Bengal credit card scheme, where they are ready to finance this particular ACCA course. And if you can basically tie up with government colleges, along with the West Bengal credit card schemes and everything, I think that you can do wonders.
Thank you, sir. Yes, please. And
as any educational institution, when we are making any curriculum, then it is our responsibility to ensure that the curriculum is completed. That's one part. So when we move on to providing additional skills to the children, because we know that in years to come there will be a lot of disruption, and just getting trained for one particular skill is not going to really help. The current generation will have to gear up to have multiple skills, maybe in the same domain, maybe as you mentioned, different skills. So I think I would rather give you an invite on behalf of my institution that we do have BBA and BCom, and we are one of the top colleges in Kolkata as of now in both the areas. I would like to, if you can design courses which can be conducted in capsule module, in the in different colleges under whatever MOU or agreements that you have. And the course can be completed within the college. Then what happens, the number of students who enroll for the programs would be much, much larger in terms of your coverage, and it gives you additional benefit to the college because we are supposed to offer more skills so that the children become multi-skilled. Now this year what we've done, we have innovated this system here because NAC is also impressing upon having more of certificate programs, and it's very difficult to get students to get on to additional programs when they already have classes on and they're doing CA and their articleship and all, especially for BCom. So sir, what we've done is we have incorporated in the fee structure right at the time of admission. Any student will be given 2 free of cost courses which is certified by an external recognized agency. So one course which the BCom has just completed, we've done a tie-up with Tally, and they've done the course. Apart from, it's there in the curriculum, but in addition, they have extended another additional certificate to them. So can the organization that you have, the ACCA, give us the content which we fit into our curriculum so that, there is a kind of a tie-up where students benefit doing it in the curriculum, and in addition, they get certification from you. So it's a dual certification for them in actual terms.
In fact, there are, as I mentioned, that there are close to 150 institutions in the country which are actually already doing this, including some of the public funded universities as well. Of course, my colleagues will be in touch with you. Thank you for the kind invitation, and we shall be looking forward to. I'll just take last comment before I give a close to this. As I said, I don't want to miss my flight. So any last comments before that? Yes, please, sir.
Hello. I think I'm audible. What happened? Yeah. Sorry, sir. So basically, you was talking about the gap, right? And lastly, you have touched upon how this ACCA or accord like media communication can support the academia world. Herein, I have just 2 observations, very in a nutshell or encapsulated form. I am trying to submit my humble suggestion. First thing is that we are going to witness the greater human and machine collaboration. As the Dipali ma'am was talking about also, that BCom or the MBA, BBA stream students are not at par with the either ICAI or ICSI or ICAWM student. So herein what is my suggestion is that you have very rightly, second question you have raised about the AI, robotics, large machine learning model, etc. Herein, can ACCA come forward and just bridge up this gap, not by offering some program or the course, but you will have to take this venture. Just I'm citing one example, Geo Infocom. It has just tie up with the IIT Mumbai, and they are coming up with the Bharat chat, just like the GPT chat. And this Bharat chat is going to resolve all the barriers which are going to be faced by the unskilled people. So herein, in large machine learning age, we are finding that there is a polarization between the lovely job and lousy job, right? That is the bad job. Right? It's true that the machine learning is we are going to not replace the human. After all, we are going to reside in the human economy only. So this humanistic economy is not going to be replaced. Once this job is not going to be taken away by the machine learning or the robotics, so very recently we have come to know all about that in the Chennai, the robot lady teacher is coming and taking the classes. That's all, but ultimately behind this curtain, there is the application of the human mind. And even I find, sir, in the financial area, you are coming up with the insurtech, fintech, medtech. So entirely, it's not only the education, entire the health sector, media sector, finance sector, all are going to be transformed. Here lies the lacking in the education sector. What I personally believe, that what the new education policy is going to do and don't do, I'm not going to bother with that. I'm bothered with that the public funded educational institutions are lacking fund, lacking infrastructure, but they are having a tremendous and immense challenges. Whether industry is coming forward to take this challenge or not? And if yes, then how this concrete proposal should come from the industry? And herein, these institutions can perform, I think, in the best way. And last example I will tell you, with this I am just concluding, that the ICAI, you say, who said that the job is not going to be offered by the industry? Institute of Chartered Accountant of India is going to conduct the foundation and intermediate examination now thrice in a year. They are not supplying the requisite number of the chartered accountant to our economy at large. So there is a demand of the chartered accountant or the professional students. Why? Reason behind is that they are equipping with the requisite skill. So here this skill can be imparted within these traditional educational institutions or not, and in this area whether the Accord or the ACCA company can come forward to help out the educational institution or not, that is the big question, and this is my query to you also.
Thank you, sir. I'll just close it now because it's a hard stop for us, but to answer your question, which is related to the exams are happening thrice in a year for the local qualification, which is actually right. The reason is because India is actually having 1/10 per capita professional accountants. So we are actually in the shortage of close to 3.5 lakh accountants in India, while we have total in total roughly 4 lakh, right? So there is a shortage.
I am the examiner of ICWA, CA as well as CS. But if I see the answer script, the question comes to my mind, how these people have passed their commerce examination. They are not even 12. Sorry for my word, it's the reality. I am the examiner of all three institutions. लेकिन जब copy देखते हैं ना, sometimes I feel it is to tear it up, but I can't do anything.
I think you are touching the pain here, sir. Okay, I would like to invite everybody. It was a great conversation with everyone. I'm so sorry that I actually had to end it now because there is a hard stop.